Hey StarCrafters, welcome to the channel. Wookie here. Thanks for tuning in, and guess what this is? It's a subscriber submission. We love these things. This is tdog. He's the blue Protoss on the left side of the new map. What's it called again? Metropolis, not Metalopolis. Be careful when you're talking about these two maps, because they will be easy to confuse now. And our other player is the red Protoss over here. Ambiguity. Ambiguity? Not sure how to say that. Could have double interpretation, and we're on normal speed, so let's make it a little bit faster. We are going to see Ambiguity placing a pylon on top of his ramp, making sure to get some coverage on the ramp itself so that his buildings will be nice and tightly compacted there. And it looks like T-Dog's building at the bottom of the ramp, so we'll have to see if he goes for a forge fast, which would be pretty ballsy. Nope, he goes gateway first, alright. So maybe he is just planning to make a wall here for convenience sake. This happened a lot on Shakur's Plateau, if you recall, back when it was a new map. At least I did it a lot. I would just go, oh, hey, I may as well build at the second ramp. And he's just choosing to build at the second choke. Why not? And Ambiguity doing a very standard 16 pylon, 16 core, but no gas, no gas. So having a cybernetics core and no Vespene gas is pretty useless. I'm trying to think of a use other than as a block on the wall. I can't think of a use for it. Here comes the extra 4 gates, and that'll be a 4-gate zealot with a cybernetics core just sitting there. The probe for T-Dog gets taken out, but he at least saw the no gas. So he might take advantage of that with stalkers or gas units, because he's mining Vespene at 2/3 efficiency. And now we've got Forge High Ground, and looks like 1 gate, 2 gates, 3 gate Forge, but his warp gates are coming in and being chronoed. Got a probe hanging out there. And it looks like some zealots being chronoed. Oh, supply cap zealot chrono. Oh, hate that. And you guys have seen me do that a bunch on my channel. Oh, I love chronoing things that can't build. Now this is the supervisor probe right here. He carries the clipboard and he's counting the gas. Check him out. Oh, now we got another one, the rally point. Oh, God, that sucks. I hate when that stuff happens. So we're going to not use this extractor. We're going to use this one. Looks like we've got a lot of zealots piling up here for Mr. Ambiguity. And we've got a proxy pylon there going down. Looks like we've got some defensive cannons, although they're not defending the ramp. They are more defending like the shadow of this light pole here, and it looks like T-Dog is going to run out, and we've got some zealot on stalker action here. The zealots got a good surround on the stalkers, and the stalkers fall fast. This guy is the referee. I don't know, maybe he was looking for some personal fouls and he found a bunch of them. So now we've got a zealot rush coming from Ambiguity, and it looks like they are going to head to there. They're going to head there. Okay, and here they go. Looks like they're going to meet up here and join up with I almost said a warp in, but we don't even have warp gate technology researching yet. So arbitrary rally point, and looks like these zealots are going to discover the cannons on the high ground and be forced to move to this side of the lane to avoid all that damage, and then they're going to duck back into it, and then they're going to pull out, and then they're going to head back in there, try to snipe a pylon, finally engage the troops. And what the heck is that thing? What is that? Other than cool. T-Dog pulling his troops back to the ledge there so the cannons can get some shots in. That was a good call, and the stalker in the back for some extra DPS, but it looks like Ambiguity has too many zealots. But now with the extra stalkers there, it looks like T-Dog's going to be fine. This giant pile of junk sitting there watching it all. And finally Ambiguity just concedes defeat there and lets all his zealots die, because who needs him? He's got more, right? And here come even more. To see, oh, warp gate's just started. The 9-minute 40-second warp gate. T-Dog taunting a little bit, still only using one geyser here for Ambiguity. That's part of his plan. maybe. I could come up with a couple different interpretations of that. Now the Zealot's getting caught by these stalkers, and it looks like tdog is going to discover the proximity pylon for Ambiguity, and he's going to go ahead and engage these Zealots, and that I don't think was a great idea. It looks like Ambiguity's Zealots are a little bit tougher than tdog Zealots. Maybe it's even just one by numbers, and here comes even more Zealots. He's got some Vespine now. He's got 430. He could actually get there. Some stalker. That's what I'm talking about. You go, Ambiguity. 5 gates now with no warp. Still only on 1 geyser. Let's look at the Control A for a second. That shows an army supply of 26 for Ambiguity and only 8 for tdog. That's it right there. That's all he's got. He is making a significant investment in high ground cannons now, however, which will force Ambiguity to avoid this area of the map. Ooh, looks like some stalkers poked their way in. Not sure how they got there, maybe, see, because Ambiguity, with all those cannons there, he's really got no way to get around to tdog. You know, he can't. He's forced to walk, you know, this very narrow line here, so he doesn't get hit by these cannons, which are protecting like this area here. So he's forced to travel down this area here because there's no other way to get back here where all the good stuff is, especially up here. This is what he wants to kill, but he's got to go straight past all this stuff, and it can be pretty harrowing. And we still see units rallying in, but it looks like warp gate technology is done, and finally we've got some warp gates for Ambiguity, and he's going to add 3 gateways. Still cannons coming in for tdog. He's making himself quite the high ground defense. And it looks like, I'm guessing tdog is trying to fish here, trying to pull some units into those cannons. Looks like it worked for 1 shot. He got 20 damage. 20 damage out of that. Good investment. And now we see stalkers and even a sentry coming in for Ambiguity. Expo going down. Don't bother mining at it though. That's cool. And doesn't really have enough probes up here to pull down anyway. But you're gonna want to rally those. I'm trying to do it, but it doesn't work. It doesn't work, Ambiguity. I can't do it for you. You're gonna have to rally those probes all by yourself. Looks like a little pylon spread going here for tdog. Kind of like creep spread, only different. Little cannon spreading. A little more dangerous than creep tumors, but on the plus, you don't need detection to see them because they're visible. So he'll be able to shoot those when he gets a chance. tdog, 1 guy there, 2 guys there, so he's effectively using 1 geyser at this base, and got the whole 5 probe queue up. Why not? You know, if you've got a little extra money, why not? And still no upgrades for Edith Flare. And it looks like they have drawn a little line in the asphalt here. Got a little Mexican standoff going on. I'm not sure why it's called the Mexican standoff. If somebody knows, please comment below. But they've got their little hand-rolled cigars and their wide-brimmed hats on, and now the Zealots come in, charge the cannons, and we got some guardian ships going up to these high ground cannons, finally earning their keep, and the Zealots are too much for tdog's army, so he's going to have to back out. And it is a huge army discrepancy here. We've got 50... What did that show? 50 supply worth? Oh, I'm hitting the wrong button. 50 supply worth, 62 to 12 now. It's a huge discrepancy, but the stalkers are safe within the circle. Safe within the circle. Fall back to the cannons and be safe. And Ambiguity's in a tough spot here now, because with all these cannons, he's forced to attack in this narrow little space because there's no way he can get safely around all that static defense and do some damage without taking a bunch of extra damage that he doesn't want to. So he's kind of in a tight spot. A tight spot being this half of this alleyway here that he's forced to traverse if he wants to do any damage to tdog. He's forced to. Absolutely has to go down that way. So here he comes again. Looks like that was a fish. I'm guessing that was a fish. Yeah. Ambiguity did not actually run half of his army in there. It was aggroed out very cleverly by tdog, and now we've got 2 more geysers down for a total of 1 probe mining there. Are we up to 3 and 3 here? All right, 3 and 3 here. Forge, but no cannons, no upgrades. We've got a Twilight Council with no upgrades happening. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 gate. All right. 8 gate forge Twilight. No upgrades going. Few probes, couple. Worker supply 38 to 34 favoring tdog. It looks like we've got a little bit of a push here from tdog, and he finally takes out that proxy pylon while the army stands aghast. That's what they were doing. They picture their mouths hanging open. He blew up our pylon. Can he do that? And so they take some retaliatory strikes and then back off because they don't want to get too close to these cannons, of course, because only having half of this entrance to the base here to run down gives them no concave and no way to actually get into tdog's base to do any real damage. Forced to use that narrow choke. So apparently he's going to have to come up with an alternate plan. Production tab reveals that alternate plan will be Stargates. Stargates will do it. I'm going to guess Void Rays. I mean, I suppose he could be doing a Phoenix or a Carrier play, but come on. Void Rays, when in doubt, get some Void Rays out. So I think that's what we're going to see from Ambiguity. Of course, it's hard to be sure. There could be some alternate interpretations of his plan there, but Immortals now for tdog. Looks like he's got double robo, still no upgrades, double robo coming, and Immortals are pretty good against Stalkers. This is and Zealots for that matter, so long as you can keep units in between the Immortals and the Zealots. Immortals are pretty good against Zealots, you know what I'm saying? So we will see if that tips the tide, and Ambiguity is taking his sweet time here now, and all of a sudden the army supply has evened out, and tdog's actually ahead. Even though Ambiguity has, like, what did we see, 8 gateways, 8 warp gates, and 5 starports now, versus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, okay, I take that back, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, so it's 8 on 8. And it looks like we might have a big engagement going on here. We've got Zealots in the front, some charge lots from Ambiguity, and he's going to back off. I think he just saw those Immortals. Force field wall, very nice. Going to try to create a little choke here to mimic this one, only there's no cannons here to shoot him, so this is a much safer place to engage. And it looks like the Immortals are actually tearing a chunk out of Ambiguity's army, reinforcing Stalkers here, but they don't seem to be enough to tip the tide. And these, I was going to say these Immortals, but they're not, we're doing damage, but they're not doing any damage right now. Okay, this one is, but these guys are just kind of hanging out. These are being held in reserve just in case the battle doesn't go too well. You don't want to send all your Immortals in just in case your opponent has thin skin and is going to take it personally, and it might devalue him as a person. You know, self-worth wise, he might not feel real good about himself if you were to just take all your Immortals in there and crush his entire army and win the game. So, you know, a good plan, a good alternate plan is to just take one of your Immortals in and see if you can't get a few kills with him. And now tdog making a push at the natural of Ambiguity. 3 Zealots here scratching the back of this Immortal. He's got that spot. It's a little lower. It's a little bit to the left there. Right there. You got it. Oh, oops. Got it a little too good, I guess. These probes are going to run off to the 3rd expansion now, which is just up. Don't bother mining from it because you don't really need any more minerals. You got plenty. And the Void Rays are out. Void Rays are going to be pretty effective against the Immortals who can't get up the ramp. If you only let 1 or 2 Stalkers shoot at them all the time. Ooh, did you see that sick micro? If you only let 1 or 2 of your Stalkers shoot at the Void Rays, it makes it a much more fair fight. I would like to see tdog actually move Commander's guys up the ramp a little bit. Going to take out that pylon, and what does that depower? 1 gateway. It doesn't matter. He's got 7 more, and he's got 5 Stargates. That he... Okay, something he just started producing. There we go. 1 Void Ray at a time, but it's good to have these extra 4 Stargates just in case your opponent doesn't attack you and you get to build up a lot of money. it looks like tdog now has somehow turned the tide of this game. He's got 40 supply in army to the 3 now of Ambiguity, who kind of just sat here a little too long, and turns out this double robo immortal play was a good call on the part of tdog. Immortals, of course, excellent against stalkers, real good building snipers, excellent pylon snipers. If we can get a couple more void rays out of here. Looks like we've got, I was going to go check the other nexus for energy, but let's not bother. Let's just assume it's got a lot on it. And this will sadly be the last void ray for Ambiguity, as the stargates are now depowered, and I don't know if there's enough stalkers here. See, you let him charge up. You're not supposed to let void rays charge up. You guys who don't play Protoss and you're up against Protoss, don't let the void rays charge up. That's really not cool. Looks like I see blue dots moving down here. Okay, so there was a couple warpins worth of stalkers, a couple more immortals. And that makes the army supply still significantly in tdog's favor. So even though this void ray is going to get some, be the schoolyard bully here for a minute, it looks like the jocks, the football team, is on its way to go take care of that. And sorry to take all you guys back to high school. I know I steered clear of the football team. I was in the drama club. Shh, don't tell. And there's last void ray down, and it looks like these immortals came over this way. I'm not sure when he discovered that, but he did discover it. That's the last mining operation for Ambiguity. Oh, I take it back. Not the last void ray that we saw out of Ambiguity. Ambiguity leaves the game, and tdog, our subscriber submitter, takes the game in a game that didn't look like he really had a chance, but Ambiguity allowed this cannon wall to really halt him, because he only had half of this alleyway here to work with. He didn't want to attack into it and get no concave, because there's no way around all those cannons to get into the good stuff. So he sat there just a little too long and allowed tdog to, despite spending all this money on cannons, build up a bigger army, push out, had a good composition with the immortals, which is, immortals are going to just push your gateway army. Like in gateway versus gateway army, doesn't take many immortals to tip the tide in your favor, and that's exactly what we saw tdog do. So good game, tdog, and for you guys, good luck, have fun on your ladder games. If you want to send in one of your ladder games, it can be a 1v1, it can be a 2v2, or 3s or 4s or whatever. Send it to wookiestarcraft@gmail.com. I'll take a look at it, and I can put it on the internet for you. If you have any specific talking points you want to throw out there to the community so that they can add their comments to it, we can certainly talk about those and just include those in the body of the email. I'll be sure to throw that in. Mikey just said, this is Mikey 6 Gun, by the way, in the comment thread. If you see him on the channel, that's who is tdog. And he didn't have anything specific to say. He just thought it was a cool game. He realized how far behind he was and thought it was a comeback worthy of preservation on the internet, and I agree. Good comeback, tdog. And so good luck, have fun, you guys, on your ladder games. I am Wookie, and I will see you later.